Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Golgari Food Pestilence. This is one of my favorite control decks, and one of the ones that I just think is best in the meta, assuming you know how to play it well. This is the most recent 5-0 list from True Name Nemesis, the Food Pest Aficionado, and there's some pretty interesting stuff here. Of course, we're using Pestilence to be both our finisher and a way to wipe the board. We have a little bit more removal with Cast Down, Tithing Blade, Snuff Out, and Grapple with Death, and a Tragic Slip. We have a ton of food artifacts with Nutrient Block and Lembus, which can be sacrificed to our Cauldron Familiar to bring that back from the graveyard. Campfire keeps our life total high along with the food. Nile Spellbomb clears the graveyard. We have tons of card draw with an Ichor Wellspring, Fanatical Offering, and Eviscerator's Insight. For a little bit of various utility, we have a Heritage Reclamation, as well as a Shred Memory to exile cards from an opponent's graveyard, or to transmute into any of our various 2-drops here, which can be pretty cool as well. Then for our mana base, we have a bunch of Swamps, Colony Gardens, Haunted Mire, which can be grabbed by our Trolls of Khazad Doom, Golgari Rot Farm, and Bojuka Bogs. Then in our sideboard, another Snuff Out, some Fairy Macabres, Drown in Sorrow, Suffocating Fumes, Diabolic Edict, Tragic Slip, a bunch of Weather the Storms, Troublemaker Oof, and a Moment's Peace. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. All right, we're going to keep this hand. We're on the draw. We have double Bojuka Bogs, so if we're lucky, we're against Terror or something like that. But we have good land drops and various utility, life gain, removal, and a Wellspring. In fact, we're against some form of Tron. Bojuka Bogs could still be useful, but probably not as much unless it's like Ultratron. Just going to play a Swamp here and cycle our Troll. Should maybe have just started with a Bog so that I could just start playing 2-drops and then cycle this for a green source later. They're just going to crack the Candy Trail. Whereas if I do this, I'll get a Haunted Mire. I can only play a 1-drop now. It's probably fine. Get our Campfire down and pass the turn. See if they have that turn 3 Tron. Obviously hoping not, but it appears they do. Bonder's Ornament and an Unfathomable Truths immediately. I'm assuming Monster Tron. That's pretty annoying. They've drawn a lot of cards. They have an Ornament. We would love to find our one of Ornament so that they can't really activate theirs as much. That would be nice. Hoping they sacrifice this so that our Tithing Blade gets a little bit more utility. But for now, we'll play a Wellspring and go for a Garden, I guess. Ancient Stirrings off the Ornament finds a Maelstrom Colossus, which they can cast. Cascades into another Unfathomable Truths. Kind of outrageous. They're at 8 cards in hand now. Okay, Barrels of Blasting Jelly. Good stuff. Might be deciding if they want to sack these 2 Spawn to cast like a Prophetic Prism or something, and I would love if they did, because then I can get my Tithing Blade value. If they don't, I can always just like chump with a plant for a turn, so it's probably fine, but still. They decide to sacrifice 1 for an Ancient Stirrings off the barrels. Gotcha. Finding another Colossus. Pass the turn. We get a Swamp. I don't need to Bog, and we have a bunch of 2-drops, so I probably just play a Swamp and pass. I could block and sack to the Insight, but I'm going to use a Cast Down on one of these anyway, so I might as well use it here, preserve the plant for a chump next turn, and also sack the Wellspring to the Insight, I think. There's another Colossus into a Brambleworm. Completely ridiculous, all these cascades. Crop Rotational Land into a tower so they can cast like another 7-drop or something. Yes, a Pinnacle Killship. Well, luckily they did sacrifice a Spawn for us. Do I want to sack this plant since it's not going to chump anyway? I guess so. Cast Down's good. Crew, or Station rather. Cast this down. Tithing Blade eats a Maelstrom Colossus because it's the worst creature they have, I guess. I guess we'll play a Swamp so I can Cast Down and Campfire. But the way to win here is generally run them out of cards. But with the double Truths and then a Bonder's Ornament, it's just never going to happen, basically. Another Colossus, and they just set up the top of their library. It's another Truths. Good stuff. Play a Mine. We'll take out the Killship, Campfire. I could technically trade the Troll for the Worm, which is why I'm leaving it alive over the Killship. Not that I think we'll really survive till then. They have another Ancient Stirrings for a Candy Trail. Crack the Trail for an Expedition map. Another Barrel. I guess Barrel can also just take out Troll, so that doesn't do us much good. Alright, we'll flashback this Insight, but even a Snuff Out, something else, I'm not really sure how we survive here. Just the most busted start and continuation I've seen from them. Troublemaker Oof, Moment's Peace could be good. Tragic Slip, Snuff Out. We don't need Shred Memory. Don't really need Campfires or Spell Bombs. Diabolic Edict can be okay. Don't think it's better than anything else we have. I mean, Campfire's so slow. Like, any of their creatures is gonna, like... Campfire's gonna take only 3 turns. 3 turns to even, like, gain the life of a Boulder Branch Golem hitting us, so I think it's just kind of not for this matchup. Too many spells. All right, we'll keep this one. Get rid of a swamp. A little slow, and we really need an artifact for this insight. Preferably our one of Ichor Wellspring. Play a swamp and pass. Start with the pylons. Bin a Brambleworm. They have a Candy Trail. We have another insight, which could be good, but not yet. Another pylons. If they play like an expedition map, I'll probably just blow it up with the reclamation. I guess I could blow it up with grapple with death. I'm not sure. I'd probably want to save this for killing a creature or a Bonder's Ornament or something, which I guess this could blow up too. But they leave the card on top, and there's a map and a barrel. I mean, I think keeping them off Tron for as long as possible is probably the call, so I'm going to blow up the map. They crack the Candy Trail and miss their land drop entirely. That's pretty good. I'm hitting land drops, which is good, but really want something to sacrifice to these insights. They're going to Ancient Stirrings to find a land, ideally. They find a map. I might grapple with death that map. In fact, if they don't hit a land drop, I definitely would. Ooh, tower, so they might wait on it so that it doesn't get blown up. Yeah, smart. Cast down. Okay. They might have a crop rotation here. I think they do. Kind of thought that was part of the reason to keep a hand with a bunch of pylons, but didn't want to use it yet. Play map. Where's my opposition agent when you need it? Power plant. If they have crop rotation, they could use it now and then have 2 mana from a mine. They're thinking about it. And there it is. Play another map. Ugh. We draw just terribly. Blowing up barrels doesn't even do enough because they still have 8 mana and they have a colored mana already, so I'm just going to leave it. Crack a map. Bonder's Ornament. Probably going to grapple that. Well, I guess I'm probably not going to grapple that then, now that they have 2. Colony Garden finally gives us something. Just going to sack the plant right away because I could draw a Bonder's Ornament or any number of other artifacts I'd want to play, but unfortunately not. They're going to Unfathomable Truths here. Yeah, they have another Truths. Play a Maelstrom Colossus into a Boulder Branch Golem. I'll cast down the Colossus. I mean, I think we just Pestilence, get that down. Could deal 1 to everything if I want to wipe these spawn. I don't have cast down up then, but that's fine. I take a hit from these. Sack them both. Exile Brambleworm from the grave. I guess it might have been better to Bojuka Bog first, because then they might not have done that. And then Pestilence, but whatever. I wanted to Bog because I need the extra black. Colony Garden doesn't help there. This feels like a really tough matchup. Maybe we do need some like Rancid Earths or something in the sideboard for this matchup. I know that's something that people have talked about. Ancient Stirrings reveals a Boulder Branch. Colossus hits another Truths. Ban Unfathomable Truths, you know what I mean? This card's busted. They're gonna play a Pinnacle Kill Ship with no target. Interesting. I guess it just survives better than the Boulder Branch Golem. I'll take 6, and it flies so it doesn't get chumped as easily. Swamp. I mean, Swamp lets me do this for 5 plus have Insight, but I'm not playing the Garden, so that doesn't matter. Probably want to grapple with Death the Kill Ship, hold up Cast Down, and also Insight with the Garden. Ooh, also we gain a life. Look at that. They cast literally their 4th Unfathomable Truths. Good stuff. Hers is mine. Candy Trail. Scry 1 to the top. Crack it right away. Another ornament. 4th ornament. Where's a Creeping Corrosion when you need it? Pinnacle Kill Ship. Insight the plant. Cast down a Colossus. Amazing. That's what I was hoping to draw, was another Pestilence. I don't think there's any world where we win this game, unfortunately. What a match. All right. 1 lander. It's a no-go. This one is good enough. Let's get rid of probably Shred Memory. I mean, we have the Bojuka Bog, which does a similar thing, but of course, am I going to just play the Bog now so I can have access to 2 drops immediately? I think so. So hopefully we're not against someone where the Graveyard Hate matters a lot. Or if we are, hopefully we find a Rot Farm to pick up the Bog. Let's start with Alembus. I want to keep offering, but I need to hit land drops. Yeah, we'll give it a try against blue Tithing Blade. Well, we'll go with Wellspring. I could have played the Wellspring last turn, and with the anticipation of if I draw an offering, it will be better, which I thought about, but the goal was Lembus to hopefully find a land, and then I ended up keeping a non-land, so maybe it was worse. They do counterspell the Wellspring. Fair enough. Pass the turn. All right, we get our Swamp. Let's just Campfire. If they want to counter this, that's fine. Spell Stutter. Well, that I don't like as much. I was thinking it was going to be Terror. If it's Fairies, hopefully they don't have a Dispel. If it's Fairies, the Campfire actually does a lot more work because they might only be dealing 2 damage in a single turn. More reason to try to keep it alive. Plus, obviously, I don't want them to have a Fairy to turn into a Ninja. Looks like mono blue Fairies, which is probably better for us just because they won't have Monarch and stuff. Not really too concerned with the removal as much. But also they just go wider and it's easier to kill all their things then. Try to Tithing Blade this hacker. They're going to counterspell. I'll just play a nutrient block so I can campfire. We're both low on cards. Maybe I should have resolved the offering while they were tapped out then, but they're going to swing for 2. No new ninja, so just a loot. Get rid of Unable to Scream. Play an island of 1 mind for 3 mana. It's campfire. Pestilence is pretty good. I could just play it now. They've already used 2 hard counter spells, so the chances they have a counter spell are tough. And then I kind of just get to control what's on the board. Yeah, I think we'll try to resolve it. Realizing this could be bad because they could just like... Okay, they have the counter spell anyway. It doesn't really matter. They could just like snap their own hacker and then the Pestilence dies right away, which would have been not great, but oh well. Swing with hacker. They do have another ninja. Island, replay the hacker. We get another Pestilence. They only have 1 counter spell left in the deck. I think we go for it. Classic. 4 counter spells and 16 cards. Pretty strong. Draw and then discard here. Gets rid of an island. Harrier Strix. Taps our campfire. Activate right away. Discards an island. Nutrient block. I don't want to just lead on that because it gets countered by a spell stutter. Unless they have a dispel, they shouldn't be able to counter this because there are no counter spells left in the deck. All right. Let's Cauldron Familiar, and if they spell stutter that, I can get a nutrient block. Brings it back anyway. Rot Farm. Their graveyard does not matter, so we're just picking up a swamp. And I could map onto this, try to trade with the big ninja. That might actually be better, I guess. Not activating campfire then. Yeah, I think that might be fine, though. All right, we got a Colony Garden. Drawing a card isn't the worst either, I guess. Brine Bear Intruder. Interesting they'd flash that in. Feels like they have another one or a ninja, because if I block here, that's pretty good to have. Maybe for that reason I just chump the big ninja. No, they're just snapping it. Fair enough. I will not be chumping anything, I guess. Swing with the team. They do have a ninja. Probably should have swapped out the hacker first, so they could have drawn 3 here. They still draw 3, but they have to discard 1. They preserve the extra mana, which could be relevant, but they didn't have many cards in hand. Discard an island. Miscreant. Campfire. Play a familiar. Grapple with death on a ninja. They have a snap, of course, which means I should play a nutrient block because I know they can't have a spell stutter sprite because they had a Brine Barrow and a ninja in hand. They draw another Strix, which means I can't block the hacker and force the Brine Barrow. I also wanted this to die so that it would dodge the next Strix because it'd be in the graveyard when they attack. And that's not going to happen now. Campfire. They hit us for a whole bunch. We're down to 4. Draw 3 cards, discard 1. If I could resolve it, another Pestilence would be pretty good about now, but we already went through 2. I mean, they just got so lucky. 4 counterspells in a fourth of their deck, and then they had the snap at the right time. They drew the Strix on time. Like, they definitely lucking out, I think. Maybe we didn't play everything perfectly, but still. We'll crack the nutrient block, see what we draw. Another familiar. Play that. Play a campfire and a garden. Pass the turn. Tap down the familiar. We'll block here, force the Brine Barrow, go for a chump. We're taking 5. Of course, we have a couple campfires to gain some life. They have yet another ninja on the Strix of 1 mind. Troll of Khazad-dûm. Well, they shouldn't be able to counter it, but can they just snap it is the question, or unable to scream it. We'll pass the turn. They have a snap. Plus, we know they have a Strix. All right, we're just going to go to the next game. Look, did I play it perfectly? Probably not, but did they get very lucky? Yes, definitely. All right, we do get a bunch of board wipes. Troublemaker Oof is just a decent blocker. It can exile a Moonstrucker Hacker. I'm not sure. Like, I might not actually keep that in, but it's just a possibility. We don't need any of the graveyard hate. That's the other thing. We saw so much graveyard hate. It did not matter. Heritage Wreck. Yeah, also can maybe get a, I guess, unable to scream as well, but we don't have enough creatures for this to be that relevant. Let's get rid of it. Tithing Blade is okay. Not sure it's really where we need to be. Moment's Peace isn't bad either, but I'd probably rather just creature kill spells. Yeah, let's just try this. A lot of land drops, which I like, and Cauldron Familiar blocks. Lembas is decent. I mean, we don't have any interaction, but I cannot imagine throwing this back either. They have a Relic of Progenitus. Well, we'll get a Lembas down immediately. I don't need any more lands. Colony Garden is better than a swamp, so we at least get some triggers out of it. They have a Fairy Seer. Scry 2 to the top. They missed their land drop, though. I'd like to play the Wellspring, but I think we should just kill the Seer, seeing as they are missing land drops, although I'm sure they scryed 2 to the top. At least one of them's a land, but I don't want them to get a ninja down. There's the island. They snap the plant token, which is fine. I mean, we get a whole card for a token. They spent no mana on it, but we also kind of spent no mana on it, so not too big of a deal. I'm not going to nutrient block yet because they could spell stutter it. I will Lembus. If they counter this, then I can get the block down. They sabotage it. Okay, so we'll go for the block, see if that resolves. They could have another sabotage. Exile a Tragic Slip from the graveyard. They are going to sabotage it. Trying to make sure the Cauldron Familiar can't come back is their goal. Well, now that they're tapped out, we can attack. If they had even a single mana, I wouldn't attack because they could have a Brinebearer Intruder, which would not only eat the Familiar, but also could get in with a Ninja, and I don't want that. Fairy Miscreant, pass. Snuff Out's pretty good. Let's go for a Wellspring. Resolves immediately. Probably worth casting down their guy then. I attack with a Familiar here because I have a Snuff Out, so I'm not as worried about the Brine Barrow. Snap on the plant token yet again. Okay, but they only have 2 cards left, so again, they're using whole cards on just a plant token. Pestilence. Could try to resolve that. They haven't used a counter spell, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense to. Let's just go for a Route Farm on the garden, pass the turn. They could have multiple flash guys at this point, in which case they don't have a ninja, but they could draw one. Yeah, there's a spell stutter. I think I might as well just kill it now and not spend life since I don't have to. If I get 4 Spectre Spell Pierced, it's going to look a little silly, but in fact, maybe I should have used the mana or the life because I'm at a high enough life total, I don't really care. But yeah, there's the hacker. They're out of cards. Double Pestilence. I mean, I might as well resolve one, right? We have a few creatures. I could wipe the board in response to this plant token, but it's just about the same as trading with the Familiar on the hacker. They're also not tapping the Relic, which is a big mistake. They have literally 1 action they can do, well, 2 actions because they could crack it. But if they were exiling these one at a time, I might eventually run out of cards in the graveyard with the Familiar. Whereas here, I just block. If they try to crack this, I can bring it back with a Lembus, which is what they're doing. But if they'd exiled all of them and then the Familiar was the last one, they could tap it, try to get rid of the Familiar. Then I have to use the Lembus, and then they crack it, and they actually catch it. Now they pass. Now this is interesting. I could play a Campfire. If they have a Spell Stutter, I can Pestilence to wipe the board so that the Spell Stutter dies, and I can get the Campfire to resolve. However, they could, I would then have no creatures on the board, and the Pestilence would die. So I think I really don't need a Campfire to resolve at this moment, so let's just pass for now. Wait until we're baiting for it, or have another creature or something. They're going to pass. I mean, we should maybe be attacking with the Familiar. If they flash in a Brine Barrow, it's a little awkward, though, because then this dies, and then I'm going to have to Pestilence wipe the board, or Chomp. Yeah, just kind of, if they have a Brine Barrow, it falls apart. If not, I'd be hitting them for damage, which would be pretty good, because I could get them closer to dying to the Pestilence, but I think it's worth just holding on to for now. We're fine doing this Drago thing, because we're in a much stronger position. We're actually hitting more land drops than they are, and whatnot. There's another one Mind. Moon Circuit Hacker. Also, at any time I could, now that they're tapped out, I could Pestilence for like 6 here. Cast another Pestilence, hit for 4. That's 10 damage. So if I can get them down 4, it would be pretty good. We're not going to do it this turn, but now I can attack with a Familiar. I could play this Cauldron Familiar as a decent blocker. It gets around Spell Stutter. It does mean it's a I kind of want to wipe the board first and then Familiar, but if I do that, they could snap this. We're definitely going to Campfire with these greens. I think it does make sense to just Pestilence a bunch of times. Okay, they just concede. I was going to say Pestilence a bunch of times and then play the Familiar. If they have a snap or something and wipe the board and then the Pestilence goes away, they still get really low, and then I have a Pestilence in hand, so they just scooped it up. This hand looks decent. Card draw, Snuff Out can be really good, especially with our tap land. So if they just play a Strix, I might just need to snuff it out. I was going to play the tap land, but I actually want to play a Nutrient Block before they can Spell Stutter it. And so we'll still snuff out, and then we can play 2 drops from here on out. They pass. Could just go for an Offering at the end step. They're probably going to flash something in, so they're going to get a Ninja. Oh, they didn't. So I was going to say might as well take advantage of this. Well, now it feels like they're going to just have a counter spell. Let's just pass for now. I think we can be patient. If we just naturally draw lands, we'll be in a good spot. Now they're going to flash in a Spell Stutter. We're going to crack this. Hope for no Dispel. And honestly, if we got our second Snuff Out, it'd be really nice, but it's okay. Hey, maybe they play a Hacker and we can exile it with an Oof. That'd be nice. No Ninja at all. That's great. Colony Garden. All right, I'm just going to Garden and pass. I could play like a 2-drop, and if they have a Spell Stutter, then I could Tragic Slip one of them, but then if they have a counterspell for that, it gets a little hairy. Whereas I could just wait till next turn, play a 2-drop, and then I have access to a Cast Down and a Tragic Slip to screw with their stuff. They have a Hacker for the Spell Stutter, So I could cast it down. Tragic Slip wouldn't be good because they could spell stutter it. I think I'm fine with them drawing one card, and then I can go for an oof to exile it, sacking a map. Actually, I probably want to insight the map here, so I might end up sacking the plant to this. And if they want to counter this, that's fine. Another Tragic Slip. Yeah, so let's go for the oof. If they just have a counter spell, then, you know, they can get me. But I can still just kill the hacker. And if not, I get to exile the hacker by trading a plant for it. They snap it. Well, that's annoying. I think I'll just Tragic Slip it. This means that they can't spell stutter or anything else, and still gets rid of it. So I think we'll go for a Lembas now that they could have a Sabotage, but otherwise can't counter it. Fumes feels good. We already have a lot of removal, but I don't think Fumes is one I want to get rid of. They go for a Strix, tapping the oof, pass the turn, swing with the oof. I could go for a Tragic Slip, and then they spell stutter, and I Fumes them. It is only a 2 for 2, so it's not the best thing ever. I think I'm just going to pass. Actually, I can go for a Nutrient Block. That's probably worth it. Nutrient Block, and then if they try to spell stutter it, I get to Fumes them. So it's still a 2 for 1. And they might notice that this is probably bait and not go for it, but it looks like no. They could have a Dispel, but I still get to Tragic Slip the spell stutter, so it's not the end of the world. And if this works, it's pretty good. Nice. And even if they had a flash creature here like a Brine Barrow, I could still Tragic Slip it because creatures had died that turn. They're going to pass, swing for 2, and I'll just pass with a bunch of removal and card draw up. Flash in a spell stutter. We'll go for a cast down, because if they have another spell stutter, then the Tragic Slip would stop things. Whereas if I go for a Tragic Slip and then they spell stutter it, then it would still counter it. Oh, I should probably have done a Fanatical Offering as well when I was they were tapped out there, but that's okay. We'll go for it now. Resolves anyway. Garden, swing for 2, play a Wellspring. They have a Sabotage. We'll go for a block, no spell stutter, of 1 mind to draw 2 cards. We'll go for a draw 3, swing for 2, flash in a Brine Barrow, and we'll just resolve a Pestilence. That seems pretty good. Try to map onto the oof to keep it alive beyond. We'll put a troll in the yard to keep it alive, even if I dome everything for 2 with the Pestilence. I'll definitely block here, but if they tried to like snap the plants, then I can just Pestilence for 2, wipe most of the board, which I'll probably be doing anyway. Pestilence once and twice, swamp, swing with a 3/3, and we'll cast a troll. They got a counter spell for that, and they concede, and we got there. We won the die roll, and we got a bunch of value here. Troll makes it so we have 2 lands, so we'll keep this. Pass the turn. Another Conduit Pylons, probably another Tron Gamer, milling a Boulder Branch Golem. We'll see if this one's as bad as it was last time. Just grab a Swamp with the Troll. Let's do a Lembas. Don't think Pestilence is what we need right now. They got a Forest, but crop rotate it immediately into a Tower. Unless they already have Power Plant and Mine in hand, they should probably wait on the crop rotation until they actually draw one to know what they're going to want. Bonder's Ornament's a good draw because they may very well get a Bonder's Ornament as well. Nutrient Block, and I think we just put the Spell Bomb down. Usually they play like a one-off Haunted Fengraf or something, and so just having it on the field to intercept that can be pretty good. There's a Candy Trail. Let's grab one at the top. Don't even have a land drop. Okay. Fanatical Offering. I want to play the Ornament, but I think the draw 3 from a block here is probably worth it, especially going for a land drop, which we find. Heritage Wreck could blow up something next turn. Let's just Campfire and pass. They find a Power Plant. They did scry one to the top, so that makes some sense. And they have the other crop rotation. Okay. Makes a little more sense, I guess. Not as bad off as it looked like they were, especially when they go straight for the truths. I think we're just going to crack the Spell Bomb because I want to hit land drops and things. And again, I'm not super concerned about this, and the life gain from the Campfire is not super relevant. Okay, we do get a swamp. I think I want to blow up the barrels here because it is their colored source, and they might not have another. So Bonder's Ornament, and then probably use the Reclamation because the Grapple with Death could kill a creature. So let's get the barrels out of here. And the Campfire is just not that relevant. I think we're going to use the map because if I draw a land here, it's pretty good. Troll. You know, with all the cast downs and stuff we have, I think we're going to leave the Troll, try to land that, and then just blow up all their creatures. If they have a kill ship or something, they kill the Troll. Maybe that's not really worth it, but I don't know. Plus, they probably just like Colossus here. Well, there's a kill ship that goes for the plant. I'm okay with that. They even saw we had a troll on top. That's interesting. They would do that. But Juka Bog doesn't hurt us too much. I could also just cycle the troll and start trying to draw with the ornament. Yeah, that might be better. Like hitting a land drop. I don't hate the idea of getting a troll down, but especially with them using the kill ship already, kind of feels like they might have another one. If we get a troll and then they kill ship it, I'm just like not doing anything. So let's just get a mire and then use this ornament. They still have 5 cards in hand, so I think trying to get some card advantage is probably wise. anyway. 9 mana. I feel like that's probably more than they need. Yeah. Colossus. Into an Ancient Stirrings, which finds a Bonder's Ornament. Station right away. Yeah, by using the ornaments, I'm taking a hit for 7 here, but I think that's worth it, especially since they're about to get an ornament down. So I'm probably going to double cast down. I maybe should just use the Grapple with Death as a sorcery speed card here. But what about the mana? I have 7 mana, so cast down, Lembas, and use Campfire. So let's start with the Lembas. Tithing Blade. If they didn't have that spawn... Is it worth keeping because they might get rid of the spawn eventually? I think yes. Rot Farm picks up a garden. We'll pass. There's the ornament. So now neither of us can activate it without the other one drawing a card as well. 7 mana for a Brambleworm. Cast down. Both of these 7/7s coming at us. They do sack the spawn just for a Candy Trail. Oh, chef's kiss. They really got to get that scry on, you know? Campfire. Tragic Slip's not bad either. We'll Tithing Blade while we have the opportunity, the chance. Another Campfire down. Pass. I guess I could Grapple with Death their Bonder's Ornament. It's not a terrible idea. Right now, I'm just worried about the creatures they can put out. Another Brambleworm. Candy Trail. Haunted Fengraf. Yeah, it's annoying. Seeing as I used a Spell Bomb, maybe I get another one. Cauldron Familiar. I wish I had a way to sack this plant. This exiles, doesn't it? So that doesn't count as triggering Morbid. I could, of course, just chump it. There are 3 cards left, and I'm running out of cards. I kind of think I blow up their Bonder's Ornament so that I can draw some cards. I didn't play a land, so I think we'll see what we get here. Snuff out is good. Straight to attacks. We'll just snuff this guy out. Crack a Candy Trail. 7 mana for another worm and a map. I could Campfire here, but we've already triggered Morbid, so I think we're just going to Tragic Slip this guy. And a Bojuka Bog or a Spell Bomb would be really good, so we can get rid of the worms and all the Haunted Fengraf targets. That's great. Let's Bonder's Ornament. A Spell Bomb as well. That's not bad, honestly. Bojuka Bog them. Play a Familiar. Pass the turn. Crack their map. Get an Urza's Tower. Still have stuff to do with that mana? Guess so. Generous Ent. Not the best thing they could get. Pretty good for us. Crack their food right away. Another map. Activate our campfires. We draw a Wellspring into a Pestilence. I have 7 mana, so I could start Pestilencing, and then I have this to bring back. Okay, probably worth it. Pass the turn. They crack their map. Urza's Tower. Another map. Great draws from them. Cracks it right away. I feel like they should get a Conduit Pylons at some point, but they just want all the towers. Pinnacle Killship. Blows up the Familiar. Block here. Let's Campfire a couple of times. And go to our turn. Lembas. Let's do a Lembas. Viscerator's Insight we'll keep on top. We'll activate Pestilence once. Pass the turn. I have 7 mana up for Pestilence activations. So if they want to play creatures pre-combat, that would be great. They almost did. I'm just going to take this hit. I could Cauldron Familiar, bring it back, like chump, but rather preserve our food, I think. Here, now we will. A bunch of times. And then bring this back. I know they got way more life than us, but we got to get through it at some point. I brought back the Familiar so we can attack, but I can also have Pestilence for 7 again if they try to crew the kill ship. There's another map. Put the whole playset in the yard. Forest. Crack the Haunted Fengraf. I'll cycle a Spell Bomb to exile their yard so they can't get back the Generous Ent. They have another Generous Ent. Crack a food. Not even going to go for a station. Let's draw a bunch of cards. We're not going to do the Pestilence thing here. Campfire. Campfire. Draw with Bonder's Ornament. Play a Nutrient Block. Rot Farm back the garden. Pass the turn. Oh, I mean, we're so in control, but they have so much life we got to overcome. It's a bit of a pain. Colossus, okay. Into Pinnacle Killship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we still have enough, even if, not that. We offering this cat. Still have enough mana to dome everything for 7. Obviously, it'd be even better if they activate some kill ships, which they luckily do for us. Making this easy on us. We appreciate it. Pestilence for 7 to wipe the whole board. Bring back the Cauldron Familiar on the end step so the Pestilence doesn't die. Map onto Cauldron Familiar. Tithing Blade, why not? So we have more aggressive attacks here. We're just going to be playing swamps so we can have more damage. In fact, I think we'll just play another Cauldron Familiar to just attack faster here. They have a Boulder Branch, more life, but I can Tithing Blade it away. Bonder's Ornament, Campfire, Campfire. Go to our turn, Tithing Blade them, attack for 3, slow and steady, play a Swamp, pass the turn. I should flip these Tithing Blades. We have a Troll in the yard, barrel a Blasting Jelly. They're going to blow up our Familiar. Oh, they have an Unfathomable Truth, sure. Nice, they've just been holding that because they didn't have blue mana forever because they were unwilling to find out how to up pylons with their kill ship, or their, not kill ship, the other thing. A bunch of barrels. Okay. Campfire, Campfire, draw a card, and Insight, Nutrient Block. There we go. Troll of Khazad-dûm. It's actually a good attacker. They're going to barrels the cat. That makes some sense. I think I have enough cards I don't actually need to sack these. I guess their last barrels can blow up our troll, but that's okay. Oops, not a Pestilence. Let's play a cat. Pass the turn. They also will mill out before us. They have 18 cards left in their deck. We have 13, but remember we have Campfires, which recycles everything. They got a Candy Trail. Play that. Scry one at the top. Crack the trail. Get a Boulder Branch Golem. Draw with Bonder's Ornament. Campfire. Cast down Boulder Branch Golem. They're going to blow up our troll. How rude. We'll draw some cards off of it. Swing with the Familiar. They're going to chump. I'll Bojuka Bog their yard. Play Alembus. Sure, why not? Play a couple Nutrient Blocks. Map onto the Cauldron Familiar. Viscerator's Insight we'll put into the yard. We'll pass the turn. Maelstrom Colossus cascades into Breath Weapon. Nice. Sure. We'll just let that go. And then cast this down, bring back Cauldron Familiar, draw a card, bring back Cauldron Familiar, draw a card. We have a third Familiar, right? Let's just bring them all back right now. Get our attacks in. Campfire, Campfire. I have 1 mana left. I should have used a Pestilence trigger before I brought all these back. Swing with the team, Campfire, play a Swamp. Let's Tithing Blade a Troll, Tithing Blade a Troll, pass the turn. We'll win this game, don't worry. Oh, they got a Bonder's Ornament. No. They'll be drawing us cards. We'll mill out. Oh no. They draw us a card. It's a Maelstrom Colossus that they got into a Breath Weapon. That's pretty funny. Let's go for a Fanatical Offering on a Cauldron Familiar. We're at 2 cards left in deck. That's fine. Campfire. Let's Cauldron Familiar, put Alembus back into the deck. Cauldron Familiar, put Alembus back into the deck. Campfire, gain some life. I wonder what we're going to draw. It's probably Alembus. Ping them a couple times. I'm actually just going to crack a Campfire now because I have a bunch of cast downs and stuff that I would like to be able to draw. So let's do that. Grapple with Death. Perfect. I'd like to blow up this Colossus. I don't actually care if they can draw cards because that's fine. In fact, I think we transmute this Shred Memory for, yeah, probably just a cast down. Maybe it should be a draw spell. I don't know. We are losing a lot of time, I will say. This has taken forever. Ancient Stirrings. Like, we're going to win this game, but I also need to win the match, so that's always tough. Pinnacle Kill Ship. Let's activate Campfires and then just like yield until the end step. Obviously they're drawing us a card. Maybe we do something else, but I guess I do want to draw them cards now with the Bonder's Ornament. I was like, oh, I don't want to draw them cards, but I actually do. I want them to mill out, so we'll do that. Kill Ship. Also, I guess we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're just about at the point where I could kill them with 2 turns worth of Pestilences, so maybe I should do that. Sepulchers, Swamp, Nutrient Block, pass. Ancient Stirrings, just turns up a power plant. Draw with the Ornament. No attacks. Alright, let's activate Pestilence a million times. Please get out of my face. Pestilence a whole bunch into untap. Pestilence a whole bunch. Alright, and they're only 5 minutes ahead of us. What a game. 1, by the way. A single game 1. Alright, removal, ornament, oof. Heritage Wreck is good. Shred Memory, probably don't need. Spell Bombs were good there, but aren't generally the most useful. Kind of tough to know what else to cut. I mean, the Campfires did end up being useful and made it so we didn't mill out, so I think we don't cut all of those, maybe 2. The Pestilences are good, but actually not as relevant in this matchup until the very end, so I think only a couple. Let's try to do our best to go as quickly as possible. Hand looks good enough. Mine into a Candy Trail. Swamp. Pass. Cycle a Troll. Don't know if we want to cycle a Troll. We can already cast it based on the mana we're going to have. Relic. So I think we're going to hold it for now. Play a Wellspring. Pass. A lot of card draw is good. Relic against the Insights is a little rough. Crop rotation, so they already have Tron. We can cast down a 7-drop, I guess. Boulder Branch. And we want to get our green mana, so I'm just going to cast this down. Pick up a Swamp, so I can bargain this oof to exile something. Potentially another big guy. Here's a map. They only have 2 cards left. That's usually what happens before they play Unfathomable Truths, but we'll see. crack Candy Trail. Pass the turn. Tithing. Could Troublemaker Oof this, but I don't think that's really where we need to be. I think we just pass here with card draw available. Another map. Crack that. There's the pylons. So there could be a Brambleworm here. Could just be a Maelstrom Colossus. Into Scour from Existence. Okay, that's really, really annoying. Lose 2 lands here. Jeez, that's frustrating. Okay, I mean, I get to Tithing Blade the Colossus and then Bojuka Bog. I'm not sure that's super relevant. Otherwise, I'm going to have to discard. Actually, I think I'm going to just play this Familiar, which means we're turn off from Oof. That's what happens when we lose a land that taps for 2. They also get to exile our Insight. They pulse a Marasa back. Maelstrom Colossus. Of course I should have bogged. Didn't know it, but apparently I should have. Colossus into Unfathomable Truths. Okay. Colony Garden. Lembas. Not get a swamp. Gonna go for a garden and pass. We have plenty of lands, so Troll is sticking with us. 7 mana Brambleworm. We have no kill spells. That's pretty rough. Block with the plant. That's kind of a kill spell. Tithing Blade is gonna go for this Colossus, and they do have just Boulder Branch Golem. I guess it's probably worth Bojuka Bogging them because they have some creatures in there. Pass. Oh, I can't really chump this, unfortunately. Barrel of Blasting Jelly. Immediately blow up the Cauldron Familiar. I'll sack it. I know they're going to be able to get it with the Relic because they try to activate. I sack Lembas and they can sack it, but it'll make them use the Relic before the Insight's in the yard. So it's something. We draw 2. Hope they use that spawn. Generous End. No attacks. That was clearly a mistake, but I'll take it. I'm going to hope they don't have a Pinnacle Kill Ship, and we're going to cast a Troll, which will trade with the Worm. Okay, and I guess we'll chump here. It's not the biggest thing to chump, but it's better than getting kill shipped, although they clearly didn't have one. If they have another Pulse of Marasa, it'll be annoying. Oh, Haunted Fengraph. What are you going to do? Except have a Spell Bomb up, which we did not, because we took them out. There's a Relic and a Worm. They're going to pop the Relic right away, because we had the Insight in the yard. Kill spell, please. Nope. Go for a Lembas. Finding a Grapple with Death. There we go. Gonna grapple the Worm, and I think we go for another Lembas. Try to use our mana. I could go for a Garden. Oh, there we go. Snuff out. Could go for a Garden to chump, but I feel like I have enough life. I can chump later, plus there are bigger things to chump. I probably will take the 5 though, because Snuff out's much better on like Trample or Flying or something like that. They'll swing for 5. We're gonna just hardcast Snuff Out on the Worm, Rot Farm back the Garden, I guess. I could do the Bojuka Bog, but they just like exile these for life gain, and I don't do much. Whisper Soak Cloak. That's pretty bad. I guess that's why we should have chumped before. I guess if I get my Heritage Reclamation. Oh, perfect timing. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. We do need to draw some more card draw or something, though. They have another Worm. Come on, dude. Destroy their Whisper Silk Cloak. Go for a chump. I guess I'll crack a Lembas. And this spawn, of course, is just making this Tithing Blade useless. They have Call Damage Control. Okay. Well, I guess there's more graveyard stuff than I realized. Although the Bojuka Bog being slow wouldn't have really mattered. I guess I shouldn't have taken the Spell Bombs out. Wasn't really anticipating all of this. Those are our only ways to deal with artifacts, so I'd have to get a Campfire, shuffle them back in, and then redraw them. So I think we're gonna lose this game, in which case I should probably just go on to the next game, because maybe I can win that one, although that seems tough. So yeah, they have another Worm, of course. Yeah, we're just gonna pass to them, make them use up a little bit more time, I suppose, and bring back in the Spell Bombs. Straight to combat, and we're dead. All right, we also have the oofs to get rid of. We had already used one, so I had one more oof that could get rid of that, but I was still dying here. I mean, Pestilence is like the only way to win, but it's like, I don't need it till later. I don't know how we win this in like 6 minutes, but we will try. Tithing Blades are so bad when they play around them, so maybe I should cut those. We'll cut one. All right, looks good enough. Play a Garden and pass. Let's Lembas. Get rid of the Pestilence. All the card draw in the world, not a bad thing. Cycle an Ent. They have Pylons, so they could crop rotate here. Let's just draw and then Rot Farm back the Garden. That makes us discard, but it's fine because we discard this familiar. We can get it right back. They have a mine. Could crop rotate, but then they only have 5 mana available. Barrels of Blasting Jelly. Gonna bring this back right away and map onto this. Cauldron Familiar definitely goes into the yard. Attack for 2. And I think I want to Troublemaker Oof away the barrels. I'm pretty positive they're gonna go for crop rotation here and cutting off their ability to have colored mana after the pylons is probably good. Although they also have a forest, but still then they don't have blue. Yep, there's crop rotation. There's Tron, and then they have Unfathomable Truths in response. Oh my god, that'd be outrageous. No, they already used the green from the barrels. Nice, right? Because they used the pylons on something else. Take out the familiar. Sure, I guess that makes sense. A little annoying, but not as bad as the Truths. They still have Tron, couldn't stop that. Play the forest. They're about to pull some Rasa back their pylons. I feel like, yes. Call damage control, maybe. Yeah, barrels and pylons are back. I was gonna Bojuka Bog them, but didn't have the time yet. There's Truths. The good news is they're actually taking quite a bit of time here. So there's a world where we can win the race. I'm going to sack this Troublemaker Oof to bargain this map to take the barrels. And then I don't think there's enough that I want to Bojuka Bog, but I guess I'll Spell Bomb them. Pass the turn. Maybe I should have Nutrient Blocked because I could have gotten back the familiar. That's more aggression. Oh well. Boulder Branch. They have Whisper Silk Cloak. Of course, I've just used both of our Troublemaker Oofs. Perfect job, me. Maelstrom Colossus finds a Candy Trail. We got the Heritage Reclamation. Perfect. And they crack a map. We also have the Spell Bomb, so they can't get it back unless they have multiples. Bojuka Bog. Nice. Destroy the Whisper Silk Cloak. Block. Insight. Cat. Pass. I don't think they've played a thing. Yeah. Or they have played a thing. Let's pass here. I can play Troll. I guess I'll just Bojuka Bog them. Makes sense. Pass the turn. We're going to lose this Insight and the Familiar, but I can't do much about that. They have another Colossus, which finds a Bramble Worm. Unfortunate. Block here. Take a bunch. Another Troll. Pass the turn. We block here. We cast down one of these. They have an Ancient Stirrings. See if they can find a kill ship. No, just Truths. Cast down a Colossus here so we can F6. Bins a crop rotation. There's the draw 3. And of course they find it. I guess we'll block, but I have a feeling it doesn't matter anymore. Draw 3 here. Nutrient block. Sacrifice. And we're gonna die. This is an impossible matchup. We gotta have Rancid Earths or something for this, I think, unfortunately. Alright, let's see if we can not get paired up against Monstertron yet again. This hand looks very, very good. Looks like we're against Naya Gates. Another value pile. We'll see how this matchup goes. Definitely making me wish I had some sort of land destruction in the board. Maybe something to consider for the next one. Snacker's already out. We have a lot of card draw, but we don't have any interaction, so I think I'm just going to go for a draw 2 here, hope to find something that can slow them down a little bit. Now they have a Pursue the Past. Of course, they have the second Snacker. They always do. Cast down. I guess a Spell Bomb or a Bog would be a decent draw. So I can cast down one and then just get rid of him right away. Without that, it feels like feels kind of tough what to do. I think we're just going to pass, hold up the Offering and the cast down. So if they go for like a Gate, Pampa, Snacker, I can kill one. Otherwise, I think I just take it. Sacred Cat. I'm going to sack the Cauldron Familiar here. I'm a little worried they could have a Thraben Charm, but I'm about to eat my words, I'm sure. But I feel like the Naya Gates doesn't usually play Thraben Charm as much, at least in the main deck. Here they go. Let me get a knife and fork real quick for these words. Yeah. Lembas. Snuff Out is decent. Guess we'll just cast down a Snacker, even though it can come right back. There's a Basilisk Gate. They pump the cat, I can snuff it out, which is why they go for the Snacker. Realizing the life gain doesn't really matter. There's a Spell Bomb. Unfortunately, we're just, like, dead, pretty much. I'll draw 2. We have Snuff Out and Cast Down and Spell Bomb. Unfortunately, don't really have the mana to make it all work. Like, I guess I can Spell Bomb and then hold up Cast Down, Snuff Out for 2 of these and then Spell Bomb? I don't know. Yeah, they're going straight to combat. That makes sense. Cast Down, Snuff Out, or Cast Down Snacker, Snuff Out a cat. I can just let the cats go through, but I want to probably get them with the Spell Bomb anyway. So I think I just do this, and I don't want the Pursue the Past to come out either. And we just die to a Lightning Bolt, but Hopefully they don't have a lightning bolt. Can't pay a black. We get rid of 2 snackers, pursue, and a cat, which is all a lot of value, but unfortunately pretty much all of those were free for them. There's another Moxite. Discard a Strands. Rumble. Finds a Gate or a Bitter Reunion. They take the Reunion. Play a Citadel Gate and pass. Lembas. Familiar's another chump blocker, but I feel like we need to find something better. Tithing Blade is something. I mean, it eats a spawn, but like, at least the spawn are basically real creatures here. Play a Nutrient Block and pass the turn. Pretty much just die to a Journey to Nowhere as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Troublemaker Oof, Moment's Peace, Fairy Macabres. I feel like the board wipes are good too. Probably less of the single target removal. Tragic Slip and Snuff Out, but Snuff Out doesn't hit Snacker. Shred Memory could be pretty good here, of course. Got a mulligan. This one is good enough. We're going to get rid of the Pestilence. We don't really need it yet. And I think we're going to play the Spellbomb first, so I can play like a 2-drop. And then if they, on turn 2, go for a Snacker, I can get it. Although I probably want to just play... Perfect. That helps a little bit. I'm just going to play this so that if they go for a Snacker and I have to use the Spellbomb and not draw a card, it's kind of bad. Now I have the ability to draw a card, and I have a way to use that mana if I don't crack the Spellbomb with the Troll of Khazad-dûm. So it's fine either way. It is early to use a Spellbomb in this matchup, but so maybe I even wouldn't. We will see. I probably want to get green. I think it's fine. Oh, nice. Another Nutrient Block that I can just play, hold up the Spellbomb. I could also have just held up the Insight or the Spellbomb crack. Wouldn't have been bad either. If they're doing nothing, I'm winning though. We are going to draw 3 because I'd like to try to hit a land drop. Macabre is not bad. We do get the land. So I could go for like a Wellspring here, tapping out of the Spellbomb, but we still have the Fairy Macabre. I think that's worth it. Really want to hit those land drops. Maybe I should even have done the Lembas. And I don't mind using a Macabre to get rid of a Snacker, obviously. And also maybe a Pursue the Past if we're lucky. And if they're just going to play a Guardian, then I guess that's the reason to not take out the Tithing Blades. I forget that pretty often, to be honest. We do have a Moment's Peace. They don't have a lot of land that are gates, so maybe we don't need to be that worried about it. This guy is scary, but if they're not pumping it a bunch, we also have a ton of life gain, so we should be okay. There's a Moxite. Discard a Strands. Play a Manor Gate. Sacred Cat. All right, we're going to draw 3. So I'm almost going to say 5. I wish. Pachuca Bog's not bad. Drown in Sorrow. Can almost kill the Guardian. I do want to drown this, but it feels like drown is better to save. So maybe I just Tragic Slip the Cat and then Pachuca Bog. Start with a Lembas. I'm not going to turn down card draw. Yeah, we're just going to Tragic Slip this. I want to hit my land drop, which is obviously why I'm using Bog over the Macabre or the Spellbomb here. I also kind of like having a Spellbomb on board because it makes them like more hesitant to do things. So even though it like shows them the trick, it kind of forces them to play defensively a little bit, which could be pretty handy. Chris. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's draw 3. Heritage Wreck. Chump Blocker is nice. Play a Spellbomb. Not a Spellbomb, a Nutrient Block. I know what I'm talking about. Pass the turn. Rumble. Double Cat, Cliffgate, and a Charm. They're going to choose the Cliffgate. All right, we can drown those away. If they did something other than get the cat immediately, I might have like Spellbombed or Macabre them, which is why they got one of them. Swing with the team here. Let's go for a Chump and a Sacrifice. Another Bog. We have an Oof. Crack a Nutrient Block for some life gain. Pestilence would be nice pretty soon here. I know I got rid of one earlier, but now we're drawing a million lands. All right, I think we're troublemaking to exile the Moxite. And then I'm going to grow, like they're going to turn this into a 3-3, I assume, or a 2-2. Then I'm going to map up the Oof, and then I can drown the cat and the robot, I guess. It's not the most efficient. They're going to sack 2 spawn here, so they still have white man up, which means they have a Thraben Charm probably. Map onto the Oof. Cauldron Familiar into the yard for sure. It's like drawing a card. Yeah, I think the drown is good enough, even if it's not perfect. And it is technically a way we can kill the Guardian, is this plus like another one, or a Suffocating Fumes, but that's okay. Sack the spawn. Campfire into the yard, or to the bottom. Yeah, I don't think it's doing enough for us. Pachuca Bog away their other cat. We're going to pass. Don't really love taking 7. I think I need to chump here. Guess this is why we preserve this guy. I could try to bring back the Cauldron Familiar to chump, but I anticipate they have a Thraben Charm because of how they were tapping last turn. They just have another Chris. All right, Lembas. Probably shouldn't have tapped that second green because I might want it with both of these. I'm so used to using green because like traditional gardens, the green was pretty much useless, and now it's not, and I'm so used to that. But we're going to pick up this bog. We have 8 cards. Going to have to discard a swamp, which is fine. We're taking 9. See if they want to grow it at all. They don't. We're going to go for a Moment's Peace. Maybe I should wait until it's lethal. That's like the fog mentality, like turbo fog, but not really an expert in that area. Now they're going to bid a reunion. Okay. Discard a Cliffgate. I'm going to try to bring back the Familiar to get a trigger, and then I can sacrifice it to an Insight. If they have like multiple Thraben Charms, they might respond here though. Yeah. I'll try to bring it back again. That's going to work, although they could have a bolt for it or something. Okay, no, they just want to get rid of that Moment's Peace. Figured it was a good opportunity to get a second food, which is fair. And I kind of want to sack this, but also then I don't have a chump blocker, which I might need. So I'm actually going to do the Spell Bomb because I have 2 other ways to hit the graveyard in hand. Draw 3. Okay, there's a Pestilence and a Troll. Their Chris could be an 8 toughness guy. They could also have another Thraben Charm and saving it for a Pestilence. But unless I want to play Troll, I think it's the time to play Pestilence. And pass the turn. There's a Basilisk Gate. I also have a Grapple with Death for the Guardian. Finding that would be pretty nice. Block here. Taking 8. I could use Pestilence now to try to kill this. If they sack Spawn to save it, which they will because they're going to die to it anyway, I'd have to go all the way up to 5. I'd deal 5 damage to save 4. But I wouldn't campfire. I'd go down to 11. I'm going to need to wipe everything next turn anyway, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't think I do, but... Oh, I should have Eviscerator's Incited the Cauldron Familiar, I think, there. I wouldn't have been able to campfire, but I think I need to draw to that Grapple with Death, otherwise I think I'm dead. Oh well. I could still do it on the campfire, it's just kind of really bad that I have to sack the campfire. But I kind of need to do it or I'll lose, so let's go for it. Then again, I also need to gain enough life to not die to my own Pestilence if I go for 8. I guess Grapple with Death gains me 1 life. If I draw it right here. No. Cauldron Familiar. Okay, I have 2 chump blockers now. I guess that can save me for a turn as well. Actually, I have multiple if I want to do the Garden. I think I'm just going to cast a Troll. It blocks this. It does okay. And I'm going to Bog just to have more black mana available later. Trying to set things up even though... It's not looking great. I guess if they just get another Basilisk Gate, I'll die. They have another Chrysalis. Okay. I could wipe the Spawn now, but then I lose my Familiar, and that seems bad. Oh, they can give this haste if they want with the Reunion, which they are going to do. Sack some Spawn. Gate up the Guardian. Swing with the team. Bring back another Familiar to block. We get another Pestilence. Sack a Spawn. Damage. I could deal 1 damage to everything and kill this Chris, but I'm going to need to wipe all the Chrysalises next turn anyway if I have a shot at winning, so I might as well just spend the mana cycling this Fumes. Troublemaker Roof. Pretty sure if we use any mana, like Spell Bomb, there's not going to be enough mana to Pestilence everything, but we will still try. 2 mana to cycle. Pestilence. Alright, we're going to die. I think this deck felt a lot better in the meta before Naya Gates and Monstertron became viable. Alright, last round here, and this hand looks decent enough. We have some interaction, some card draw, and some lands. Play a swamp and pass. Looks like we might be against Jund or Grixis. Play a Lembas. Either one of those I think we'll keep an ornament for. It'll be much better against Jund, but you know, Grixis we can slow down and also be about the value, but Jund it is. Colony Garden, here we get to Insight the plant. Next turn I can play Ornament and still have up a 2-drop. They have a couple Well Springs and a tap land. Campfire, Nutrient Blocks, all pretty good. Now that I have the 1-drops, actually maybe I just get another tap land down, go for a Campfire, pass the turn. They have a Spell Bomb and just crack it right away to get rid of our Insight. Fair enough. I mean, it's decent value. Obviously drawing 2 for us is pretty good, but they're just not doing anything on the board right now. We're definitely pretty far ahead of them in that regard. I think we just Bonder's Ornament. We don't have a lot that we need to do here. This is obviously going to be a value matters matchup. They're going for Chris, and missing a land drop is nice for us. Draw from the Ornament and gain a couple life. Garden, play a couple of blocks. I think we'll cast down the Chrysalis while they don't have a mana to sacrifice it. Pass the turn. Go for a draw 3. They have a whole playset of Drossforge Bridges. Lembas. Let's draw 2 here. Shred Memory is probably going to be better transmuted. Campfire, Spell Bomb. Let's just pass. There's Chris. And Clan Shaman. Draw with the Ornament. Gain some life. Get another block down. We're going to rot farm back our Colony Garden. And pass the turn. Sack their landscape. Tapping a lot of mana. It makes me think they have a Hydra. That's pretty rough. It's a lot of mana. Maybe I should have already transmuted the Shred Memory for a cast down for this. Hydra for like 10-ish, 9 I think. We still get to draw with the Ornament. I can maybe find a cast down or snuff out off of that. And yeah, it's fine. We'll take a big hit. I can Campfire back up a little bit. And we'll get the cast down, so we'll have it for next turn. So it won't be able to attack at the very least. Or it'll attack, but it won't be able to hit us. Transmute here. I wish we could just Tithing Blade it, but they have the Krark, so I can't do that. Oh, actually, Heritage just blows up the Hydra. That's actually better. Let's do that. Play a Garden, which means I don't have enough for the Ornament. Maybe I should have played the Swamp then. Probably should focus a little bit more on making sure we're activating Ornament every turn if I can, but that's okay. They are going to wipe the 2 plants away, which means that the Tithing Blade is going to be pretty good. Hopefully. They could have another Chrysalis between now and then. Map onto Chris. I think we're going to sack one of these nutrient blocks anyway, so I might as well do it in case I get a snuff out. Oh, perfect. And want to stop their map. So I'm actually just going to use that. Stopping the map's not that important, obviously, but I don't want to take the hit from the Chrysalis this turn anyway if I don't have to. And I wouldn't do this before attacks if I didn't have the answer to the Hydra, obviously, but we do. Now they have a draw 2 with an Insight. Probably crack Spellbomb to make sure they can't use that again. And they have another Chris. Crack Spellbomb. There's Pestilence. So I could Pestilence and then Tithing Blade, but we don't have a Cauldron Familiar, so I'd be losing the Pestilence, so that doesn't seem good enough. I can still just put it on the board. I have a lot of mana. I think that makes sense to do, because they're probably not running any Enchantment Hate in the main deck. Maybe a one of Troublemaker Roof, but that's not super common. They're going to sack the Spawn now, because the potential of the Pestilence. I mean, this does let me just Tithing Blade their Chrysalis if I want, but we still don't have a way to keep the Pestilence around until next turn with the Garden. So we're just going to pass. Even if they have another Hydra, I won't be taking lethal damage. We should be fine. I can certainly take a hit for 4. We can offset all of that with the Campfires. Although I probably want to draw from the Bonder's Ornament here, depending on what they do. There's a Wildfire. And they got yet another Chrysalis. That's their last one. So here we are going to wipe these away before they can grow the second one, which means I'm not going to use the Ornament, which is fine because I can just crack Nutrient Block and a couple Campfires. But I'm going to want to wipe those away for a Tithing Blade now anyway, so might as well make it so that... I guess it doesn't matter because they were going to sack the smaller one anyway. I don't know. It doesn't matter that I did it at that time, but... it's fine. I guess it's better if they play like a Refurb or something here. They have a Lembas. Scry to the bottom with the Lembas. We'll crack a Nutrient Block. Jukabog. We will Tithing Blade away a Chris, which grows the other one. I should probably, yeah, I'm kind of just casting things. I should probably have drawn first, because I could have also Pestilence wiped this one, the smaller one, and then Tithing Bladed the bigger one, and then I could have Colony Gardened, and I'd be fine. Yeah, so that was a bit loosey-goosey. Let's just kill Chris. Now I have a Garden. Now we're fine. I mean, if they kill plant and don't play anything, Pestilence goes away. That's not the end of the world. They pull some Marasa back Chrysalis. We did not, but Jukabog. And I don't have a Spell Bomb. Okay, fair enough. Well, we can once again wipe these guys away before Chris gets bigger, so he's not that threatening. We do lose our plants, but as long as Chrysalis is around, Pestilence isn't going anywhere. Spell Bomb. They have another Wildfire. Activate Campfire. Campfire, and I'm not going to crack a Nutrient Block here, even though I kind of want to and want to draw a card, but I want to have at least 2 food for the Spell Bomb for if I get a cat and they try to like get rid of it. I am going to activate Bonder's Ornament now because I got a ton of mana. Another Pestilence. Well, let's just bog them, pass the turn. Actually, I don't have a creature in my yard. I was going to say let's flip a Tithing Blade, but I don't have a creature, so it doesn't matter. They're going to crack the Spell Bomb just to draw something, which maybe means now I could go for the Nutrient Block, see if I draw. It's okay. They have an Insight, sacking a Wellspring, Refurb, finally. Just beginning to think they didn't have any. We'll discard a Swamp. Refurb. They do well in multiples for sure. Discard another Swamp. I'll take 2. Wellspring. Fanatical Offering the Wellspring. Okay, now they're not going to be able to use the Insight from their graveyard. They're also going to mill out at some point, which is good for us. Campfire, Campfire, and we use Pestilence twice here. Wipe the Refurbs. We just don't want to kill the Chris, and they concede. Yep. That's how you do it. Troublemaker Roof, Snuff Out, Tragic Slip maybe? Moment's Peace could be good just if they get a couple Chrysalises we can't deal with, not to mention a Hydra. Not sure it's super necessary, but the ornament's really good. Tithing Blade is decent in conjunction with the Pestilence. It's kind of rough otherwise, but I don't think we get rid of them. Shred Memory is decent enough. It's slow, so the transmute's not hard to fit in, and if it finds a cast down, it's really good, or the Heritage Wreck like we did. And it can snag like a Pulse of Marasa if they're going for that. All right, what do we take out then? I feel like the Moment's Peace maybe is a no, actually. Are they going to be artifacts I care that much about? Spellbomb, maybe. Otherwise, this just feels like a bad kill spell for this matchup. Snuff Out doesn't kill Refurb, and the life gain could be relevant too. I actually think a lot of our ratios are good. Let's do these Troublemaker Oofs in for a grapple and a Campfire. All right, this hand looks good enough. We might end up sacking the Spellbomb to these effects, but that's fine because we have a Bojuka Bog, and Spellbombs are not crazy necessary in this matchup, but obviously for Pulse and Insights, they are good to have. That said, we're certainly starting with a Bog here, so I can have a 2-drop available on turn 2. Lembas is a good draw, because that's another thing to sacrifice to our draw spells. They just have a Refurb right away. Yeah, I think it's going to be the Spellbomb. Swamp. Let's go with the Lembas. Snuff Out. We're about to draw a lot. I think I'm going to keep it as insurance if they get a Chrysalis. It would be on turn 4, but if I don't get another kill spell, I'm going to regret getting rid of it. And I could have played the Rot Farm last turn to get the Reclamation to blow up a land or Refurb immediately, but I think what we did is a little better. Spell Bomb, okay. Not too bad. Well, let's just play a Swamp. I do want to play the Rot Farm, but if I play the Rot Farm, then I can't use an Offering this turn because... Or if I do, I'd have to be on my own turn, in which case I'd have to discard a card, which is a little awkward. Maybe I should have just done it and accepted that I wouldn't use one this turn. I don't know. Attacking for 2. Cleansing Wildfire. Let's Offering a Lembas. Troublemaker Oof. Cast down. Okay, let's go for a Mire and pass. So I could cast down the Refurb if I really need to. If they go for like a Hydra or something, I certainly will. But I probably just want to Oof it away. They're going to draw a couple cards. I guess we'll go for an Insight here because I could hit a Tragic Slip that I might want to use, but we did not. Looks like they have a Chrysalis. Campfire. Oh, I guess we have nothing to sack to the Oof except for a Campfire, which is not great. Well, maybe I just cast down the Refurb then for now. Chump block with a Familiar. Rot Farm back a Swamp. Sack Spawn to map. Well, I think I'm going to Snuff Out the Chrysalis. Again, like, interrupting a map's not the most value, but they are low on cards. It can be relevant. I want to kill the Chrysalis at some point anyway, so I think it's fair. They could have, like, a Hydra here. Oh, they have a Pulse of Marasa to get back Chris. Well, this is why we hold up Heritage Reclamation, exile Chrysalis, and draw a card. Got him. Now, not using that on a Hydra could hurt us later, but we do have an Oof for the Hydra, plus a cast down for the first target, you know, whatever they try to enchant. They have a Troublemaker Oof, it looks like. Okay, so they can take out our Campfire. A little annoying, but not the end of the world. Swing for 2. Bonder's Ornament. Let's play a Nutrient block and bargain it immediately to exile the Refurb. And then could play the Bonder's Ornament, but they could get another Troublemaker Oof. Maybe I want to hold it for when I can use it right away. No, it's probably better to just ramp. They probably have one more in their deck. The chances of them having it right now are low, but not impossible. It's fine though. Let's play another Familiar and pass. They correct their landscape. They duress us. A little annoying. I wanted that Wellspring or the cast down, but it's okay. They go for an Insight on a Spawn. Lembas. And another Lembas. Swinging with the Oof. Interesting. I'll trade here, and then I get to attack in for 2. Start with a Wellspring. Shred Memory. All right, let's just leave up our Bonder's Ornament and Eviscerator's Insight, Fanatical Offering. Refurb. I think for that, we're going to Eviscerator's Insight to have the most cards possible to discard. Yeah, I can get rid of Conley Garden. They Pulse of Marasa back a Troublemaker Oof to get the Bonder's Ornament. Part of why I wanted to leave up the Ornament, of course, Ornament can draw you a card extra every turn. Oh, wait. they Pulse of Marasa my Troublemaker Oof. Well, that was a bit of a misplay. They decided to gift us an Oof. So what I was saying is that, like, using the Eviscerator's Insight made it so that we couldn't use the Ornament, and then if they, you know, exiled it, it'd be a waste. But I wanted to make sure we got something good to discard to the Refurb. But I think we were already winning, but it would have been a lot closer if they got rid of the Ornament and had a 2/2 instead of giving us the ability to get rid of their Refurb or their land or something. Oh, they do have another Oof anyway. Fair enough. They just drew it off the Cleansing Wildfire. That's kind of funny. Still pretty good that they gave us one. Start with the Lembas. Tithing Blade. We'll keep that. This allows me to bargain away their Refurb, Tithing Blade the Oof and still keep attacking. I don't know if it's bad manners to play the Oof that they gave us back, but what are you going to do? It happens. Play a Lembas. Maybe I should just leave up the Offering, but that's okay. We'll keep a Nutrient Block. Way to get back the Refurbs, or not Refurbs, the Cauldron Familiars, a different kind of Familiar. They drew a Chrysalis. Gonna go for an Eviscerator's Insight, it looks like. Oh, maybe I should have shredded the memory of that Eviscerator's Insight. We'll Offering a Familiar Lembas. Got a Cast Down. Use that right away. Swing for 3. Play a Nutrient Block, and we'll just leave up Shred Memory. I don't think there's a reason to cast it, and if they do draw another Pulse Marauder or something, which they clearly have a good number of, then we have the answer. They get an Offering for their Vault of Whispers. Lembas, another Lembas. Fanatical Offering, and Duress. Well, I guess it makes sense to just use it then. Make sure we're targeting the right graveyard. Exile their Troublemaker, Chrysalis, and Landscape, I guess. They see our Colony Garden. Map onto a Familiar. Draw a Swamp. Let's sack a Nutrient Block, see if we draw anything. Pachuca Bog. Swing for 3. Garden. And let's just Tithing Blade with this plant, since we have nothing in the graveyard as far as creatures go. They have a Wellspring. They have a Giant Hydra. We actually don't have much of an answer to a Giant Hydra right now. Kind of gone through everything. It's a 7/8. We have another Tithing Blade in the deck. We probably have some more Cast Downs, Snuff Outs, if we can find them. Ping them for 1. Nope. Swamp. Pass the turn. They have a Wildfire. And Lembas. Duress. Our hand is bad. They're going to map onto the Hydra. Grow it some more. Chrysalis on top. Okay. So they can attack for 9. If I block with both Familiars, we can bring them both back. We ping for 2, ping for 3, and then we attack for 7 or 4. So that's 7 total. So we're both going to be at 5, which means the Pestilence doesn't do it because they can gain life. Still probably worth it to try for this. I could also just gain more life with the Lembuses, but this is gaining only 1 less because we're blocking 1 toughness or 1 damage with toughness, and then also we're gaining a ping here. Ping them for 1 with this. Oh, right, we gained a bunch of life there. I forgot about that. So we draw the Pestilence, but it's still not good enough. We attack for 4. They can go back up to 11, and we're at 8, which means we're going to die. I can't even attack with these 2. Or with the Oof, because I need a block here. We know they're getting Chrysalis, which means they're not going to have anything. No funny business. But yeah, if I attack with all 4, I'm dead. So I have to leave back a Familiar, actually. Because I also have the Colony Garden plant. So I'll go to 1. But I need to hit for as much as possible, I think. Here's Pestilence. Oh, I'm also 1 damage off. 1 mana off. Wait. Well, okay, if I hadn't played the plant, I could have played a Swamp, and then I could have had 8 activations, so if they tried to activate a Lembas, I could activate Pestilence in response, but then I'd be dead. They would have just done it in response to me casting the Pestilence. So I could ping 1 here, but that doesn't help. And now I'm going to take a hit, and I'm going to be too close to death to use Pestilence, unless I can gain some more life, get a kill spell or something. Oh, it's so close. I could still draw something, but pretty close. Ping them for 1 here. That's a good draw. So that gains me 3. Or I could crack the Familiar. Yeah, they're going to crack a Lembas now. That's smart. So I could bring back the Cauldron Familiar, but that doesn't matter as much as gaining more life. They're going to do them both. All right. Pestilence triggers happen 1 at a time, or activations rather. So I also can't like just get a draw doing this. I'm going to crack using only green mana because there could be a way that I want to use the Pestilence here. Fanatical Offering, okay. I should sack the Sepulcher because I might need all of this toughness. And I don't think, currently we're not getting another turn, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, Spell Bomb, map. Let's draw another 2. I just need like a Cast Down or something. Do I not have more of those? 1, 2. Only use 1 Snuff Out, 2 Cast Downs. I have quite a few more. This is not enough toughness, so I have to go for another draw with a Spell Bomb, I guess. Lembas. Okay, that puts me up to 8. That's not dead. Troll. Okay. So this can put me up to 8. Block here, I'm only taking 7. So block and chump, I'm not dead yet. Troll doesn't really help. Next turn, it would just be a chump blocker. Yeah, I gotta get rid of that. Another Lembas. Well, it could be good next turn. I'm not dead, although now they're drawing something off the top, which could definitely do something. For example, a Krark, which allows them to wipe the board. I can kill the Chrysalis now because of the way they did this. I still just died of the Hydra. Doesn't matter. Well, they only have 4.5 minutes to win game 3. If If I want to really make sure we win on time, I probably put all our life gain back in. Oh, I guess I didn't bring in the second snuff out. That's strange. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's good enough. I mean, frankly, we're not going to get to the point where Pestilence matters in such few minutes on their side, I don't think. So I'm just going to do removal instead. This one is slow, but good enough, I think. A lot of card draw. Slow is not that bad in this matchup, obviously. Juka Bog them. They're going to duress us. We don't have anything that useful. I mean, they take an Offering. It's good. Good card draw. Or they take a Tithing Blade if they want to go for like a refurb attack. Not terrible either. Cycle Troll for a Mire. We have a Cauldron Familiar if they do get a refurb early to just discard to it. In fact, we probably just hold it in hand until they play a refurb. They have a Bridge, and let's go for a Lembas. No land. But they've already used up a minute in their first 2 turns. It's pretty rough. Cast an Oof, no bargain. They're just trying to go on the aggro. And then we get our Oof, and we do in fact get to bargain. That's pretty good. We miss a land drop, but they lose their land drop. They find a Bridge. Spell Bomb. I'll happily trade since we just have to stall. There's a Swamp. Play a Nutrient Block. They got another Bridge. Here's a Krark. Draw 3. Swamp. Play a couple blocks. Pass the turn. They're going to Spell Bomb just to draw a card. They got a Chris and a Wellspring. We'll just cast down Chris. Swing for 1. We'll play Pestilence. And I guess we're snuffing this out. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. We've won. But I realized I was just throwing out Pestilence and I was going to do a Colony Garden and realized they then just sack their thing. And this doesn't. I lose my garden plant and then this dies. Not too concerned either way, to be honest. They have a Chrysalis and another Krark Clan Shaman. Lembas. We'll keep a Swamp. Play a Familiar. We'll go to map onto it, so they have to sack right now if they want to get rid of it. Or we just get a garden. Pulse a Marasa. We will shred all of these away. No pulse for you. Sack a Bridge to the Shaman. Sack the Spawn. Go for an attack, but I can bring back the Familiar here. Chump. They have a Duress, and we have nothing in hand. Play a Garden. Spell Bomb. Pass the turn. Play a 3-mana Refurb. We'll discard a Swamp. We'll just Pestilence the whole board away. Then bring back the Cauldron Familiar. And we win the match. Look at that. Well, it looks like we got a little unlucky in our matchups, but it happens, and frankly, I do think, seeing as how bad Monstertron is, we need some sort of sideboard cards for them. Maybe it's not land destruction, although that feels like the only way to stop them from consistently having value and gaining a bunch of life. So I might try like 3 Rancid Earths in the sideboard for those matchups, as well as the 9 Gates, which didn't seem particularly great either, but we did have Grapple with Death, Tithing Blades to deal with, Guardian of the Guild Pact, and I just kind of sided out the Tithing Blades because I always forget Guardian is a pain in these decks. So not my best showing, but still a very fun deck to play that I'm sure you'll enjoy if you take it for a spin. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to my supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out my YouTube memberships, which allows you to get early access to videos. Thanks to my current $10 and up supporters, Howard Granger, Halcaz, DJ Vinyl, Paladillin C, Blackjack Davey, Max, Someone You Know PK, Lucas Lage 3463, and Heckboy 1337. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.